Welcome to Rebel Without Applause, where we explore the intersection of sports, entertainment, and culture. I'm your host, Maurice Bob, and today we have a very special guest on the line. He is an artist, entertainer, actor, and comedian, best known for his impersonations of such stars as Ray Charles and Trey Songz, and he just dropped his new single, Nasty, as his alter ego, R&B singer, K. Relly. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Phill Wade to the program.
What's going on, Doug? Appreciate
How you
having
doing?
me in the building, man. Appreciate the energy, dog. Yeah. And what
Good
you
to
know
have
about
you,
the Ray
man.
Charles? What you know about the Ray Charles, man?
I've seen a few things. I think a few things you've been cooking up in the lab over these years.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I guess to start off, we like to ask, all our guests, when you look back at your life, what could you say was your most rebellious moment?
Man, my most rebellious moment, man. I would say when I lost my scholarship at school, I didn't want to go home. I was an engineering major. And I was like, hey, go back home, get your people telling me, go back home, get it back together, get your life back right, and then come back. I was in school a whole year waiting for that one class to pop up for the next following semester. So I rebelled. I stayed around and it really blossomed or birthed, a lot of the things that I do now as far as performing, because I started getting involved in a lot of ways on campus. Because I had the time to explore, myself and my HBCU. So it was a good time. I had to be rebellious, but it worked out. It was beautiful.
When did they actually find out about it? Like, since you kept it from them that long?
Oh man! After I graduated,
that's a nice.
After I
You kept it
graduated
secret
that
for a while.
year, and I told them, they were just like, "What?" And I was like, hey, I made it work. Hey, I'm successful, right? Hey.
Hey, man, whatever it takes.
Yeah, whatever it takes, man. Definitely.
We looking you up, man. You seem to wear a lot of hats. So for people who don't know you, what's your Phill Wade elevator speech? How do you answer them when they ask you what you do?
Man, woof. Took me a long time to get comfortable with a real answer for that, right? But I'm an entertainer. I'm an entertainer at heart. And an entertainer, when you think about entertainers, I think about people like Gregory Hines or Sammy Davis Jr. or the Rat Pack or Jamie Foxx, even if you want to be more current, because an entertainer, they can get on various stages and give you, they can perform to various demographics. So I enjoy the arts and I enjoy entertainers. So when people ask me who I am or what I do, I just be like, man, I'm an entertainer. I'm in the poetry realm, and act with the blues and the blah, that vibe. It's a vibe over there. I performed at the Improv, the Houses Blues, stuff like that. And you talk about Ray Charles and, man. And so
That's good.
anything that involves the arts and entertainment, man, that encompasses, what I do. So music, comedy, I just say entertainer, it gets to the point.
Okay, so we're gonna play. You remember that game Operation when you was a kid?
Yeah, man.
Okay, so we're gonna play Operations. We're gonna take you piece by piece. So,
okay.
Let's start with the music. Who would you say were your biggest musical influences?
Man, my biggest musical influences, man, I would have to say Prince, Michael Jackson,
Okay.
James Brown,
Okay.
Donny Hathaway, Stevie Wonder, just because of the musicality and all the people that these people birthed. I'm fans of them as well. You know what I'm saying? Stevie Wonder and Music Soul Child, you're gonna get that because he gives you that type of body. He gonna give you your PJ Mortons and stuff like that. And also John P. Key, gospel artist, but I gotta throw him in there. He really shaped he's really a funky, well-rounded artist, even though he's doing gospel. And so I listened to him a lot growing up, actually, and even utilize some of his stuff while making records like today.
Okay. So you mentioned Michael. It was his 62nd birthday here recently.
Yeah, man. Birthday, Mike.
Yeah. What was it about him that stood out to you?
Man, his command, his performance skills. I was always in awe of him being able to stand and in silence and still just command the presence of the stage. And from a musical aspect, man, that dude was just like, people sleep on him as a vocalist. You know, today everybody by doing the runs. You know what I'm saying? Mike had runs too. Don't sleep. Mike was a vocalist. He got some records definitely out. But even more so him as a performer, dog. His from Dancing Machine, you know what I'm saying? Dog. He's just like, he says his work ethic, just standing in front of the mirror for hours and hours and hours on end, just practicing the same old dance moves, just like his work ethic and how he does it on stage and just commands the whole energy. It's just like, I take note of that. I love that. That's the reason for why I do some of the things I do with the Motown show. We'll talk about that later, though. Yeah.
But you know, that's one thing that stands out to me about Michael. He separated. He was a great family group. You know, the Jacksons, and even as a little kid, you could see it. He jumped off the stage, off the screen, whatever he touched, he just jumped off of it. And I was like, man, that he's going to be a star.
Energy.
And
Yeah.
he put hard work with it. So he didn't just have talent; he put the hard work in it, like you said.
Word.
And that's what made him, who he was. And I like how you mentioned James Brown, and we just lost Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
And he played James Brown and Get On Up. How do you think he did?
Man, he killed that role. Let me tell you, I went to I don't know if I was at the American Black Film Festival. I think I was, and they were doing a pre-screenings for that, and they doing a special showing with a showcase for, they had all James Brown, Get Up, Pop's Got a Brand New Bag, and they had Chadwick Boseman in there showing his, screen. We saw a previewing of it. And I was like, man, I want to do that role. Chad, goddamn, took that role from me, dog. You know what I'm saying? So, because I believe I'm James Brown in my heart. You can't tell me. Give me some Penny Lopez. It's over. You know what I'm saying? But he killed the role, man. He embodied the voice. I was saying something on Instagram. I said he's our generation's Don Cheadle. You know what I'm saying? Don Cheadle is a well-rounded actor. He's, from accents to comedic play, you know what I'm saying? He gives you all of that. He gave a lot of energy, and he's a well-spoken, black brother. So as well as, Chadwick, you know what I'm saying? Trusted by Oprah, trusted by, co-signed by Denzel, you know what I'm saying? So well-spoken, man, well-rounded black actor, entertainer, activist, did acting with a purpose. So, man, shout out to Chad for sure.
Yeah, what really got me was, I was a big fan of him, obviously. The way he did Black Panther. I mean, just that's one of my favorite comic book characters of all time, and to see him bring it to life, I was just beyond excited, obviously. But to know now, looking back, he was fighting a battle of colon cancer silently and doing all of these things and pushing through and didn't tell anybody, and even when you see him visiting cancer patients in hospital, he was battling it himself, and yet here he was putting smiles on kids' faces. I mean, that kind of strength you really just can't, you don't see anymore. Even people who are going through it, and going through something like that is very hard. It's a struggle, and people will milk that sometimes. Like,
yeah, they will. Yeah, that's true. That's facts.
He didn't use any kind of excuses. Nobody knew. I mean, Spike Lee didn't know he was directing them in Five Bloods. They didn't know on the set of Black Panther, just the strength it took to do that. That just really catapulted him to a whole nother level for me. We really lost an icon in that brother.
Factual.
So, that's just, man, rest in power to that king right there.
Most definitely.
So, you mentioned some of your favorites. So my favorite is Prince.
Okay.
I have him, so if you had Prince and Michael, I have Prince 1A and Michael is 1B. Prince
okay.
Is that,
okay.
All right. That one step above. So if you had to do the same, who would you put first?
Jeez, Louise. It's like for different reasons. It's like a Patty and Aretha type of conversation, really, for me, because their sounds are not the same. You know what I'm saying? Their sounds are definitely not the same, and they do different things as far as live music arrangements and playing different instruments and expressing emotion through instrumentation. That's Prince. He gonna give you that. You know what I'm saying? He can make a guitar cry. He gonna give you that vibe. Michael's not gonna give you that, but you know what I'm saying? My love for Michael's musicality and performance are just like so wild. Not to say that Prince is not a great performer. So it's hard for me to say. It depends on what I'm looking for that day. And in general, I rarely have a favorite one anything. You know what I'm saying? It's just like how I'm feeling that day, what type of mood. So today I'm feeling like I'm in a Prince mood. You know.
Okay.
Hey, I'm feeling
Okay.
in Prince mode. You know what I'm saying? So
okay, we can rock then.
I'm rocking it. I'm rocking with you. So we kindred spirits today, bro. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, just sad that we lost those two giants. Just imagine, what kind of song they would have given us here this
Definitely.
last, especially going through what we're going through right now.
Mhm.
To really lift you up with their music. So let's talk about you. I see you have this this nom de plume, hey Relly.
Yeah, man.
So obviously that's a play on R. Kelly. I mean, what's going on with that moniker, and how'd you come up with that?
Man, just I'm always creating. I'm always coming up with wild things, wild characters, wild songs. I've always been making up songs ever since I was young. My parents, they just be making up songs. I grew up like that, with a singing family. And so I was just coming home one day and I was just like, man, I want to make some R&B music. I got some funny songs about Popeye's chicken. I got some funny songs I want to draw, you know what I'm saying? So I need a name or something like that because I don't want to release Miss Phill Wade. It's too crazy or whatever. So I was just like, it literally just popped in my head like off the rip. Like, I don't know, it's because I got left back in the 6th grade. I don't know what. And it just popped K Relly. And I was like, man, I got to make the K stand for something. So I made it Kissan. Kissan, like Hassan Whiteside. It was like Kissan. So
Okay.
Kissan Relly. So he's just like, I love R&B music. I love 90s R&B music. I feel like nothing's new under the sun, but I feel like it's almost time for a male or female R&B groups to come back around. Everything recircles, resurfaces. So in a few times, mark my words, it's going to be some group that's about to pop up on the scene as far as R&B is concerned. But I love the Aaron Halls and the Tony Tones and the Keith Sweats, you know what I'm saying? All them vibes, the Babyface vibes, 112, Only You to Slim, Jagged Edge. I love all of that. And so Gerald Levert, and so I can go on and on, but essentially
Silk.
the Silk, man, Jodeci, H-Town. Come on,
Ah,
dog.
yeah.
You feel it like love. Yeah. So I love all of those vibes. So essentially, K Relly is an artist. He's creating music, and you're gonna get taste of all of those Jesse Powell, all that energy. You're gonna get all of that in these records. So it's a lot of sounds. I'm working with art. I'm working with producers and songwriters, Grammy nominated, Billboard, Grammy owning, you know what I'm saying, artists. So they're definitely doing their thing. Shout out to my whole squad. And it's some good music. It's funny, but it's jamming. So comedy R&B is what it is.
Okay, so now you got to explain it now. What's comedy R&B? Break it down for us.
Comedy R&B, essentially, ever since I started like making music, this took me. First of all, I want to say shout out to any artist who stays the course of creating and finding out what their purpose is, because it's a journey. It's a wild journey. You know what I'm saying? So essentially, I was thinking about it. It took me like 8 to 10 years to figure out what I really wanted to do or what I was passionate about when it comes to performing my art the way it is in my brain. So I've always been doing the Trey Songz video, singing "Your Side of the Bell" and making up, funny songs, and people will say, "Where's this album?" I'm like, "Where's my album? You looking for my album? Let me make one real quick." So if you look at my history, you look at YouTube, you'll hear me singing some soul vibes, some neo soul, and I love that. I love neo soul. I love the jam sessions. I love vibing like that, but I also have a funny side that people appreciate as well. So it's always been a struggle on who do I satisfy. So I feel like this comedy R&B music, satisfies both crowds. I feel like it's funny content. We'll talk about some of the K Relly records and the Man Ain't Ready. We get funny content, but it's jamming music. So married to them too, and I'm happy with it. We got records all the way through the end of the year, so I'm excited to drop these bangers, dog. K Relly a wild boy. Yeah.
Okay, so this is not like you're not like the Black Weird Al Yankovic. Like he does like copies of songs. You got your own like.
Nah.
Okay,
Now,
your
now
own
I will
original.
give you. You may hear something like something that's a resemblance of something in the '90s, or a record, or just a melody or something. But for the most part, this is all original content. I got records called Stretch Mark Lover. Can't really got records called BB Dub, BBW. Ain't got records Honey Butter. You know what I'm saying? So we got some records that's just like some original, funny topics, funny, dialogue, but it's also some good music, man. So I'm giving people all the content I can give them with this character. It's gonna be like the Childish Gambino and Danny Glover. You know what I'm saying? That type of vibe. So yeah.
Okay. So talk to me about this new single, Nasty. What's with the unsweetened tea? Uh, break it down for me.
Dog, yeah. So everybody know that unsweet tea is nasty. I was literally like driving in the car. That's when the thoughts be hitting me. I be wrong. When I get out, and I be like, girl, I be making up poems, and I was saying, girl, something. How could it be, girl? You know your love is like unsweet tea, nasty. And then I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's just one of those moments, and you just being a creative, you just always creating. So that moment was funny, and I just put a melody to it. Your love is like a sweet tea. You know you nasty. Who the one spooning you? Who's steady stirring you? Who putting that ice on you? I do. Who giving you sugar too? I do. It's like it just mashed together. Me and the squad, we call ourselves the cream team. That's my squad, the producers and the writers. So we
Okay.
put that joint together, and it was like butter. So this is fun for me. I'm having the most fun I've had creating music in a long time.
Wow. Okay. I mean, and that's what you want to be. You want to be in a place where you're creating and it's coming from the heart. And you like you said, it took you a while to find your voice, but then now that you made that decision, it's coming to you like in the car. Oh, on sweet tea, and you're running with it. And I think that's where people fans really appreciate when it's honest, pure music that comes from your real creative place.
Definitely.
So you like, so we'll kind of put a pin in that and pick at another part of you. Let's talk about your love of comedy. Where did that come from? Were you like the class cut up, when you were young, or?
Nah, man, I was actually quiet. I mean, to my close friends, they might know me as being funny, sometimes having funny moments, but I was like an introvert. You know what I'm saying? I go home, everybody be dancing at the little parties, the little psychops and all that stuff at school, raising money. I'll be standing on the wall. But when I get home, boy, I'll be in the mirror doing all the moves. Yeah, dog. I'll be going crazy when I get to the room. They be hearing the rumble. Philip, what you doing up there? Nothing. Practicing, So I was a quiet one, though. I didn't really start making a lot of jokes or getting funny until, well, not say getting funny, but being recognized for being funny until college. Until
Okay.
college, yeah.
Okay. So was this around the time where you had to kind of pretend that you didn't get suspended or whatever and kicked out and stick around? And is that kind of where you found that identity?
Yeah, right around that time because I needed some money for to pay for school because I lost my scholarship. So I started entering into school pageants that the Deltas would throw, scholarship pageants that the AKAs would throw. I started doing choreography and dancing for all the fraternities and sororities and different pageants on Prairie View's and TSU's campus. So I would choreograph the intros and get people learning. I was heavily involved in pageantry and all that other stuff. So I was using my gifts to get what I needed. But in doing that, when I'm on stage actually performing opposed to serving, helping other people, I had a chance to sign, and people was like, "Man, you funny for how you did your talent, or you funny how you hosted the, and whatever your skills, And so one thing just led to another. So I was a little bit of a late bloomer, but when it happened, it happened.
So you mentioned your HBCU experience. What was it about that really kind of shaped you and helped form you, make you the man you are today?
Man, Prairie View, shout out to Prairie View A&M University. Shout out to all the HBCUs because they're really villages and networks that really cultivate a lot of Black talent, a lot of Black entrepreneurs, a lot of people. When you go to these HBCUs, man, it's just a great experience because they give you a lot of education. You'll get a lot of education that you wouldn't get, anywhere else. And I'm not talking about the education in the classroom, because the least amount of your time on a college campus is spending in the classroom in all actuality. The most of your time is left up to you and what you want to do. So fortunately for me as an artist, we're just having fun in college. So you get to be around energy of creatives, of people who have a lot of time to make a long mixtape, or a lot of time to make albums, or to just make stuff that you never do nothing with. You got a lot of time to be creative. So the energy was just real at Prairie View, and they were banging out singles, and everybody was coming up, creating dances, just a lot of creative energy. And I just absorbed it all. And so that's a great place. College, period. Even if you don't go to HBCU, a college is a great place to absorb energy and network with other creatives, especially if it's something that you're really passionate about. It's a place where you can get people to work with you for free. So just off the strength of them loving what they do, you love doing this too. Let's get together and make something. So that energy, I have that energy to this day. Those relationships, that networking power. You know what I'm saying? Those friendships. So, man, shout out to my HBCU for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's great too, because there's a light shining on HBCUs, especially when you look at the athletics. A lot of these D1 players are considering HBCUs for the first time, just so they can kind of take back the power, you know,
Mm-hmm.
of their gifts and bring it to those schools. Because if you're good, they're gonna find you anywhere. So I would love to see the movement towards some of these players signing with HBCUs. So, like, talk about your love of improv. What do you
Mm-hmm.
like about that, and kind of how do you develop those types of skills?
Um, wow. Like I said, my family, my dad, my mom, always my grandmother. Even for my grandmother as a kid, she always be making up songs, walking around the house, going to clean these greens. You know what I'm saying? So, I've always been making up songs since I was little. About a stop sign, a light post, a tree, whatever. So, actually, when we started filming YouTube videos years ago, when I did the first jam session, we had never done that before. We had never done music like that. Like me and DJ, my homie, we had never sat down and like just started vibing. Like that was actually the very first time. You know what I'm saying? And that's my first time voicing that. Because that's a fun fact. That was our first time vibing, and it just happened. And we were just, next thing you know, I'm just making up work, doing what I usually do in my normal life. So, I love improv. I love the energy, especially in front of a live performing audience. You feel me? I love that energy. Just giving the people ebbing and flowing with the audience, with the other characters, with the other musicians. That energy has always been good to me. So, um, it's an exercise, and I utilize it all the time, by myself and with acting and with music. So yeah, I love improv all day.
So, do you go into it like with an outline, or you just go straight off the head? Like, how do you approach it?
Sometimes it's straight off the head. A lot of times, but usually I have a topic or something like that, or if the topic is Kool-Aid, you know what I'm saying? It's everything sweet, sugary, got different colors. I'm talking about flavors. I'm talking about all this other stuff. How much sugar you adding in. I'm talking about all these things. And these are typically things that songwriters do when they're brainstorming ideas. I'm just comfortable enough to say the idea on camera or say the idea on a microphone, and just roll with the punches. Every moment ain't perfect, but the moments that are perfect is worth, trying. So I love, exuding that energy and just being creative. It pushes me and makes me a better songwriter, actually.
Okay. Have you ever, especially when you do improv, have you had like a situation where it didn't go over so well? Like, if you did, like, what did you learn from that?
Ah man, it did one time actually. I was at TSU, and I was with Billy Sorrells and DC Young Fly. We on stage, and it's their homecoming. I'm from Prairie View, and I know I already got a tread light. You know what I'm saying? And they was upstairs. They was like, "Man, we about to do a jam session on live." You know what I'm saying? Right now, had some dude playing the piano, and he was playing something. And DC started singing, and everybody's screaming. And then it was my turn, And then the piano dude, he sees me and he was like, oh, this Phill Wade from the jam sessions. And he started finessing on the keys and doing something in front of these thousands of people. And I got up there and I started singing and it was just like crazy. I got booed off the stage. DC ran to the exit door like, I ain't with him. You know what I'm saying? And really that was a technicality, you know what I'm saying, of, you know, just the musicianship and me trying to, you know, finesse on the fly. But other than that, you know what I'm saying, I can't recall a bad situation. You know what I'm saying? If you know you're going bad, you got to know. If you're in tune with the audience, you'll know it's time to recover. You only need a second and a half of silence to know that something didn't go over well to go on to your name. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll be paying attention. If something doesn't go over immediately well, I can, you know, kind of adjust and have some fun with it. So, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a nice skill to have. You know, so you know, I got to touch on these impressions that you do.
Yeah.
So I know you were pretty known for the Trey Songz one. How did that one happen?
Yeah, man. Actually, just being with the homies. That was actually our first YouTube video. That was my first YouTube video I had ever put up, and just random, just staying creative. It's so many things that can happen when you stay creative, because I know a lot of people have creative blocks and whatever they're doing in life, and it's not only music, it's whatever. You know what I'm saying? But you have to keep on doing whatever that thing is, and the great thing is gonna come. And essentially, long story short, I was just sitting at the computer making fun of people like I used. Yo, side of the rail. And the people, my homie just recorded me. It was an organic moment. And he saw it. And next thing you know, I was at work and people texting me saying, Phill, you going viral. I didn't even know what viral meant. You know what I'm saying? So they was like, you going viral, dog? I was like, man, okay, all right, bet. You on World Star. What's World Star? That's that ghetto website. What they doing over there? You know what I'm saying? So everything just blew up like that. But it happens from just continuing to create, man. So.
Did he ever like get wind of your impersonation?
Yeah, he saw it and he said he the one that made it popular, blow up or go viral, because he tweeted hilarious on Twitter. He just said hilarious, and everybody was like, "What's hilarious?" Oh, he does sound like you. He is hilarious. You know what I'm saying? So we chopped it up. We met a couple times. It's always been good energy when I see him. So yeah, shout out to Trey for sure.
Yeah, cool. You know, how you feel about what he's going through right now? You think he'll get through it?
Man, that's tough, bro. I mean, situations, boy.
Yeah.
You gotta be smart about it, man. But you know, so I hope he get through this. I don't want to say with flying colors, but I just hope he get through this situation and make some better life decisions. I wish him the best of luck or whatever comes about this, because these girls are ruthless. They savages out here. You want to be savage in your own way? Oh, ye be careful, because hey, the savagery, the however much savage a guy think he is, a woman is that much more savage. You know what I'm saying? To give you the blues. So hopefully he make it through this, man, without too many scuff marks on his resume. So it's just highly unfortunate.
Yeah, it is rough. So you know, you just did your your Ray Charles impression earlier.
Yeah.
You know, so how did you even get that together like that?
Well, you know, man, one day, you see, back in my college day, I used to live in a dormitory. Really, it was a trailer. I lived in a trailer park, man. And, I used to sit around with my friends and we used to watch television, and we watched this guy called Jamie Foxx, man. Jamie Foxx he used to do it, man. He used to do it like he used to it. You know what I'm saying? So Jamie, he really popped it. Really, I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I had to go way back, even a decade or so before Jamie. It was the old school Pepsi commercials. You got the right one, baby. It was them old school, and I grew up watching them, and that's when I really found out about Ray Charles as a little youngin', watching him doing that. You got the right one, baby. So I've always had a love for Ray. And then when the movie dropped, Jamie did a crazy job, and I'm already an admirer of his. So he killed that role, dog. I used to watch that movie every day, and it was a talent show coming up, and I needed something to do, so I used that, won the joint because killed it, crashed it. And so I had been doing Ray Charles ever since, you know, college days, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can sing. Can you sing like him too? Can you like do a whole
Oh
song?
yeah,
Like...
so essentially doing that, because I sing. That's another instance of singing in comedy. So from me doing that role, I ended up doing the Motown and More review show, and they had an opening for it. They on their song list. You know, this is a 25-year-old Motown show they have here in Houston. Every year, it's been going on for 25 years. It's about 40. They perform it over 4 days. It's about 40,000 people come out there to see it. You know, and I perform one of the characters I perform as is Ray Charles. And so I saw his song was on the list, and they was like, "Oh, I can sing Ray Charles." And so I got up there, I put the music on, put the glasses on, and from the first day I did it, it was just like I've been doing this Ray Charles bit ever since. You know what I'm saying? So singing Georgia or Tell Me What I Say, you know what I'm saying? That's Night and Day, the famous song that was on the Cosby Show, Rudy. I said, baby, night and day. Yeah, so I enjoy that. And I love Rudy.
That's dope. That's dope. Yeah, my favorite is Georgia. Something about
Yeah.
that song is just, you know, it really puts you in the mood.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
whole day through. Hey now. All right.
Man, I'm so glad he got the recognition he deserved by that movie, because I don't think people really understood how great he was.
Man.
He just really, and he touched a lot of different other creatives and artists that came after him. He broke the mold.
Definitely.
So I'm glad to see that he got his due.
Definitely. Most
So
definitely.
you got your Trey song, your Ray Charles. Who's another one go-to impression that you do?
Man, what's crazy is I don't do a lot of impressions. It's just certain situations I'm put in to have to do impressions. And everybody was saying, you know, the board who was over the show when they were doing the auditions when I first began, they were saying, "We know you crazy, Phill Wade. Do Rick James." And I was like, "No, that's not in my character. I don't want to do Rick James. I don't want to be that type of guy. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go up to that level." But essentially, I ended up doing it, and I go to that level. You know, I go to the craziest level that I can go, and I like and try to embody Rick James and all his mannerisms and things of that nature, and how he sits up straight and, you know, his posture and everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm Rick James. You know what I'm saying? Just giving the people that whole energy. So that's another one of my favorite acts to perform in the Motown show as well.
Man, I have to check that out.
Yeah, most definitely, most definitely.
So you also wear, like an engineering and producer hat, correct?
Definitely. Yeah. So
So
the cream team, KREAM, the cream team, the K Relly, you know what I'm saying? K Relly, keeping real energy around me. Calling the cream team because our records be busting, you know what I'm saying? We be getting it in. So everything that we've made has been and to my standards and their standards has been gold. So I'm just really excited about the strides that we made as a unit even when it comes to producing, when it comes to engineering, when it comes to songwriting and ideas. You know, the collective energy in this small group that I'm working with is just so beautiful, man. Everything is it's effortless rather, and it's very organic, which is something that I've always been about, organic energy. You know, whether with live music or performing in anything or acting, I love to make things feel very organic. So the energy has been real, and these songs are just flowing, man. So I'm having fun creating right now at this point.
so have you worked with like some other artists that we would know?
I actually have a record about to drop in a couple of weeks. It's called it's another K Relly record. It's called Sundress Goddess. It got it
Oh
has
yeah, but them sundresses. You don't know about them sundresses. You missing out.
Sundress is a beautiful blessing, my brother. Yes, indeed. Yeah. So he got a song, and that song is actually featuring Devin the Dude,
Okay.
H-Town representative, third ward representative, OG in the game, well respected. So shout out to Devin. And that'll be the next collab I have coming up. And then I have some collabs with some other comedians in the game, like B Watts. He's out in LA. He's from Houston right now. Billy Sorrells, another comedian. Then a few other people coming up with some records in the future. But collabs for sure with actual musicians and comedians, because there's a lot of comedians out there that are actually musically inclined. So man, so it's gonna be fun creating from this avenue that I feel like I'm creating. I don't know anybody else that's doing comedy R&B this way.
Okay. Yeah, you mentioned Jamie Foxx earlier. Do you feel like he kind of opened up the doors kind of for you to come and do what you want to do and do all the other things and
Oh
come
man,
together?
most definitely. His songs, like when he used to do his stand-up, like I realized the struggle that he had as a musician and a comedian. He dropped an album that didn't do that well, and he dropped and then he came back and busted on with his stand-up special, and then he ended up singing and he incorporated music at the end of his joint, and that was really inspirational to me. You know, he's making up R&B songs, the famous Brady Bunch song you hear Jamie Foxx singing, you know, songs that he might have sang on the Jamie Foxx show, and you know, little lullabies that he turned into R&B songs. That was really inspirational years ago, and I took that energy, you know what I'm saying, and started putting out, you know, real records. And I don't think I'll be doing like spoof records, like remakes of records. I want to create some of my own energy over here, a whole wave.
You're creating your own lane.
Definitely,
Yeah,
definitely,
that's dope.
definitely.
So now we have another piece of the puzzle. You like to act, and
Yes, for sure.
from what I understand, you're part of the DJ Screw bio series, All Screwed Up.
Definitely, yes, it's
What can you
definitely
tell us
going.
about that?
Man, that's gonna be dropping real soon. Shout out to IO Visuals, Isaac Yeoman, the mastermind, the multi-talented, multi-platinum, award-winning song engineering, Photoshop using. That dude do everything, right? He just one of them guys. But I actually co-wrote my first feature short film, comedic short film. It was called The Holy Spoof back in 2014, 2015. Did great numbers. Did great numbers for that. That was really funny. Featured Paul Wall. It featured a whole lot of social media people. I'll go down the line, but I want to fast forward to currently I'm doing the All Screwed Up series where I play DJ Screw's dad, and
Okay.
so that was a lot of fun because, you know, that's another story, you know, similar to Jamie Foxx telling Ray Charles' story. We get an opportunity to tell DJ Screw's story because his music is universal. His sound is universal. So many people chop and screw music, and just to have his story told in this way because the look of it, the presentation of everything that Chill is doing over there. When y'all see this film, you're really gonna appreciate the artwork visually, and you're gonna appreciate the story. The story is well told. It's very reminiscent of people that recognize the screw culture and like people that actually know Screw or went to his house. Like everything, the aesthetics, everything is just so well thought of, and so I can't wait for that to release. And I had the opportunity, man. Chill always looks out, asked me to do acting roles and things of that nature. We've done a few endeavors, few engagements. So this is gonna be the newest thing. It's gonna be very dope. So y'all keep your eyes open. I think it's gonna have a very great effect on the culture as far as music is concerned.
Why do you think DJ Screw is such an icon in Houston?
Man, because he was a revolutionary. He was just one of those people who wasn't afraid to be himself. And that's what's so great about his story, you know. You know, it's just like, man, his friends, like they talked about him about, you know, for making a record that slow and chopping it down like that. But he believed in himself, and he had a select few homies who believed in him that rolled with his idea, and that blossomed into something great. And a lot of the great people, you know, who have some, you know, astronomical gift or some talent, most likely, you know what I'm saying, they were riding one deep at some point. And so they just have to stick to their guns, you know, similar to like what I'm doing with this K Relly. Yeah, I know it's wild, you know what I'm saying, for various reasons, but the energy has been well received, and I'm enjoying some of this immediate gratification because it's just back to the story, sticking to your guns, believing in yourself, staying committed to the process, and putting out products. So that's what's going on right now. Very inspirational vibes, man.
What do you think of that whole those like TikTok teams? They were trying to claim his style and call it slowed and reverb. They were taking
Slow
credit.
and read. Ah, disrespectful. Wow, disrespectful. You know they're trying to steal They're trying to steal everything. What's that song? Not nice like this. I wish raindrops would fall. That what's that song? Was that on Five Heartbeats? The white boy stole a song, man. Come here, Cadillac. One of them songs, man. I can't remember what it was, but the same vibes. They've been stealing our vibes for so long, man. Chopped and screwed. They ain't even say T-Pain. chopped and screwed. We're gonna give it to somebody named Splat or something. I don't know what that dude's name is, man. Just disrespectful. Don't do us like that, man. So, but that's why we need the movie, and that's a prime example of why we need the movie, because people like that just want to. Oh, I know where it came from. No, you don't know where it came from. Great.
You want to take the credit for everything and then not,
Right.
Yeah, right. You're right. We don't get enough credit for a lot of things that we create. And a lot of things we have created or invented have kind of fallen through the cracks. And we're not even taught those things. And I think that's one of the things that education needs to take a look at. We're in this climate where we're looking for equality, but we also deserve equality in credit, equality in education. Why people talk about like Black Wall Street? I had no idea that was something when I was growing up and going to school. I had to learn about that, just through kind of myth. And then I had to confirm the myth. And I was like, why weren't we taught this, in school? Why are things like this covered up? And like you said, we need to get all our credit. And DJ Screw need to get his credit. Black Wall Street to get his credit. All these things. And if we have a better tapestry of learning, I think we'll be equal, because a lot of times when they look at us, well, what did you guys contribute besides slavery? Well, we've done a lot. You just didn't hear about it. It's not written about. It's not taught. One good thing though is people like you. You kind of make these records through your music, and you disseminate information, letting us know kind of where we are, what we've done, and kind of telling our stories. From a organic way, if you will. So music has always been, kind of this timeline for us. What do you have kind of, coming up in the works, that we should know about and have a lookout for?
Well, I just dropped the Nasty Unsweet Tea record, the 28th, a few days ago. And I'm be dropping some records every other week. I have the Sundress Goddess song dropping soon, and I have a few other projects. I have some I also want to say that Relly also has a purpose when it comes to working and putting out projects and collaborating, if you will. So I do have a song about voting. I made an R&B song about voting because I got to get my people up to get up and vote. So
please,
I flipped it. It's wild. It's a wild idea, but I can't wait to put that out. So, and essentially when I collaborate, I'm always looking to collaborate with entrepreneurs and Black entrepreneurs and utilize them when I create my short film or when I shoot these ideas. I want to say I went to this stylist, this is a creative director. I'm the only fictional character, but I definitely want to give a coattail to who these Black entrepreneurs are, and put them on, utilize their products and blend that with Relly. That's just a vibe to make everything purposeful. Long story short, that's the idea, to make everything purposeful and not just all jokes. There's gonna be some serious. Now I'm gonna talk a lot about love and crazy stuff, all that stuff, and stretch marks and all that stuff. But I'm also gonna find a way to give purpose. And even if I'm talking about stretch marks, I'm gonna be talking about my homegirl, new homemade shea body butter. You know what I'm saying? Her business, she done made it that well packaged. She proctored the joint together. You know what I'm saying? It's all about putting some purpose with it. So I'm having fun in that regard as well. Just networking with my community and my Black entrepreneurs. You know what I'm saying? That's going and getting it. We making it work.
Okay. I like that. I like that outlook.
Yeah.
So during this pandemic time, has that slowed down your creativity, or have you been more fruitful in that way?
Man, God always make a way, dog. So I've just, it's just like, go back to Ray Charles. His sight was taken away, but his other senses became enhanced. His hearing, you know what I'm saying? He talked about what type of sole shoes he wears so he can hear how close he is to an object and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? His hearing is just, super crazy. So I would say that I had to learn another one of my creative senses had to go up, you know what I'm saying, to take the place of that live interaction that I'm used to with the homies. So we're literally forcing ourselves to be creative on our own in some unconventional type of ways, and using Zoom to send ideas and have meetings to stay safe and meet when it's convenient. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely pushed me to really not give up and just be like, hey, I gotta be creative. I have to, put out a product. I have to still use my gifts. I have to be responsible with the gifts that I have and still find a way to put out some content. So that's what's going on, man. So shout out to my team, shout out to myself. Hey, it's been happening during the pandemic, man. It's a grind.
It's definitely a grind. I like to call it the pause.
Definitely.
So this pause has made me, like you said, reflect. And I started this podcast because of it. I looked at, I've been a writer for a long time. And
a rebel with a pause. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, go ahead.
And one of the things that always kind of disconcerted me was I would have a story idea and editors would turn it down for whatever reason. Oh, it's not interesting enough or not enough clicks, or, they think of it in that way. And I always wanted my own platform to tell stories that I feel like should be told, because there are so many interesting stories in our communities that you wouldn't even think of, and not just celebrities or not just athletes. There are other people who are very successful in their field. They might own a bank, or they might have 4 or 5 McDonald's, or all these successful individuals that are in various communities that we need to highlight. And that's why I want to create this platform to do that. Tell these compelling stories. So this pause has been rough. I haven't been to the barber in I don't know how long, but on the flip side,
yeah, it's crazy up on the here, man. Hey, it's crazy. You see me, I'm hiding on. I don't know.
Hey, the hats. I've been spending a lot of money on hats lately.
It's hat season, baby, all day. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But it's been positive too. You've been creating, I've been creating a lot. I think a lot of us have, and I'm pretty excited to see what's going to be out there for us on the other side of this. A lot of creators out there who have, kind of been keeping things close to the vest, and they'll release them, when things get kind of back to normal. So I'm pretty excited about that. But hey, man, it's been a huge pleasure having you on.
Man, most definitely. Thank you for having me.
I really thank you for blessing this podcast with your time. To all the rebels out there, make sure you go out and check out Phill Wade's work, especially K. Relly. Get nasty. Get the Unsweet tea. But yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out with us, and make sure you like and subscribe to this podcast. Stay tuned for the next show. We drop each and every Thursday on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you like to get your favorite podcast. So for our special guest, Phill Wade, and myself, we'll see you next time. And please stay rebellious.